With robotics and AI going to take a ton of jobs. This is a long one. I gotta read this. Over the next 2 to 5 years, and the currency's crashing, which is fiat, I'm trying to wrap my head around how we survive without having to sell off our bags too early that we've built up. I spent the last 5 years building Bitcoin, Tesla, Solana bags, but these are not really income producing assets like cash flow. My net wealth is growing for sure. I missed NVIDIA and MicroStrategy because I focused on retirement bags of Tesla and Sol, along with Bitcoin, whole coiner status, congrats, but just couldn't get it all. Yeah, and you can never catch everything as well. Remember that, everybody. Don't try and... You're not going to be able to go to a train station and jump on all the trains at the same time. That's just not how it works. However, back to your question. My job is number 12 on the declining list of WEF new report jobs, fastest growing and declining jobs by 2030. If robots can work on each other and do far more than any human plus artificial general intelligence, will not the jobs on the fastest growing side of the report also mostly be gone by 2035 and 5 years later? Seems like at some point all the jobs get phased out and we are free from work or chores, trying not to fall into the camp of owning nothing and being happy. As much as I hate the World Economic Forum, they may actually be right about 2030 agenda for most people who don't own assets. This is the caste society. And does the middle class eventually get wiped out and the ability to work hard to pull yourself out of poverty into wealth become difficult or nil? This is a profound question, and it's what I've been warning people about since late 2022. There's no doubt radical change is coming, and there's no doubt the world is not ready. And I feel awful. I feel almost like a Debbie Downer for warning people about this, but what is it? Forewarned is forearmed. Be prepared. That's why I mention it. And I think you are in very good shape because you have a focus that's way ahead of everybody else. But first of all, let's talk about the impact. For those who are not on Patreon, missed my post, I've got this series called AI Impact, which looks at all the AI stuff, how to position yourself, what's in danger, etc. But this was what you're referring to. And the WEF, as much as neither of us like them, their economists are pretty good. And they believe there will be massive changes. They believe the majority of employers are looking to pivot their workforces to be much more supported by AI and technology. And we need to be on the right side of this change, because what the WF also say, and this lady is Ida Auken, Member of Parliament of Denmark, she's telling us, like you said, welcome to 2030. I own nothing and have no privacy, and life has never been better. No offense to her, but when you hear that type of rhetoric, either they're trying to snow you or they are insane. Either one, you pick. I don't know. So, yeah, I dislike the WF, but they may be right. And this is for the majority of people. Let's talk about UBI for a second. I'll be talking about how the future will be very much UBI based. Let's see where we are today. And first of all, these are dependency ratios. These are the percentage of the population that are dependent on the state or the government for survival. In the US, it's 20%. And this is old data. In 2010, nearly 49% of Americans lived in households receiving some form of government assistance. That could be Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, other types of benefits. So it's huge. We are not far from being majority UBI. And Australia, dependency is 1 in 5, approximately 20%. And there's lots of other data out there too. But these things are definitely on the rise. Now, the good news, you have hard assets. You are way more prepared than more than 90, maybe 95% of the population. And you're aware of what's coming. So I say keep your foot on the gas. The next 3 years will be critical to escape the metrics. We now have this kind of window of opportunity that is rapidly closing. It's going to be difficult to build a bag in 2030. I believe. And I hope I'm wrong. But one thing I'm pretty good at is predicting the future. So let's hope I am wrong, but those people who are listening to this video will be able to prepare. We have to pivot ourselves from being, I heard this somewhere before, from not being kind of wage slaves, but being asset allocators. We need to build bags today to protect us in the future. And remember, it's us against everybody else. You just need to beat the others. It's like I remember a funny joke. I'm going off on a tangent here. I wish I had the image. It was from I used to have these calendars called Farside calendars. And there was a picture of a guy. There's two guys in the jungle. They're being chased by a lion. And one guy stops and he's on the floor putting on his sneakers and tying on his running shoes, tying his shoelaces. And the other guy says, "What are you doing? The lion's coming." And he said, "I only have to outrun you." So I'll tweet that and share that post later because it's a very funny cartoon. But think of that when you come to investing. You got to beat others. And that's how you survive, is to be in that top 1%, is to beat the 99%. That's all.